Hey there, welcome to the UkeStuff channel and welcome to this full UkeGuide review of this instrument. This is the Kala Ukadelic UK-Bamboo ukulele. We'll get into some details in just a second, but what we're going to do is talk about this instrument with some general categories. Then we're going to talk specifications. Then I will summarize the instrument and give it a full UkeGuide rating. Now, what I would like to say about this instrument before we go any further is that it is very similar to some other instruments, such as the Flight Travel series. So, this instrument by nature is going to be compared to that, not only by me, but by others. And I will mention that I will do an actual demonstration between the two. However, the Flight that I have is a long neck soprano versus the Kala, which is a soprano, so be aware of that. The other thing I want to mention is that Kala has done some really interesting things with this Ukadelic line. I did have a Ukadelic Stars and Stripes that I reviewed some time ago that was basically like a dolphin, like the Macala dolphin. They might call it the Kala dolphin now. It was part of the Macala series at one point, or the Macala shark, which had a laminate top with a plastic back and sides. Then for a while, the Ukadelic brand had some crazy prints. I have the Sugar Skulls one, actually, that I've reviewed in the past, that was actually just a Waterman. So it was a fully plastic ukulele. And now you've got this, where it's kind of going back to sort of dolphin territory, but with a little different body shape, where you have a plastic back and sides, a wooden neck, but then a laminate soundboard. Now for the record, this is actually laminate. You can actually see the lines in there. I don't know if you can see them right there. You can see that it is a laminate top. So while it is bamboo, it's still a laminate. Sometimes you can find bamboo that are just strips of bamboo that are glued together to make a soundboard. This is laminated bamboo. Now it might be all bamboo, but it's certainly laminated bamboo, not just sheets of bamboo stuck together. It's actually a laminate itself. And before we go any further, let me say that if you want to support the work on this channel, there are three things you can do. First of all, you can like the video. Second, you can subscribe to the channel. And third, you can always buy me a cup of coffee to say thank you for making this content at www.buymeacoffee.com/ukestuff. I do have some other things for sale on the Buy Me a Coffee page, including 2 books of chord melodies of hymns and carols. You can also buy those on the Apple Bookstore, the Kindle bookstore for Amazon, or directly in print from Amazon as well. All right, let's get into the subjective categories I look at with all these instruments. First of all, cost. $49. There are going to be some cheaper ukuleles out there, but I don't know if you'll get any better starter instrument overall for $49. This is pricing that even goes back a few years ago. And yes, they are still $49. This model's been out for a while, and I've had it for a while, just haven't gotten around to it, but it's still just $49. The value on this model is good. You're getting better than what you're paying for. However, it is still missing some things. So if you go on Amazon, you buy many ukuleles, including Enya or whatever, you're going to get a kit including a really nice gig bag, maybe a tuner. The main things, maybe straps and a strap button, because you do have a strap button here. You get none of that with this. All you get is the instrument that comes in the box. So really, yeah, $49, you're not paying for anything else, but at the same time, we're at a point where that should be included. So the value isn't fully exceeding the price, but it is better than the price that you are paying for. The build quality, in general, is good. There are a couple things I want to point out. First of all, there is a clear edge here where the laminated bamboo top sits. So you feel that as you hold it, you feel it as you sort of pull against it, and that irritates my arm a little bit. So that ridge should not be there at all. That should be smooth, maybe sanded down or whatever they need to do to make that completely a smooth transition. The other thing is, and when we take a look at the inside, you'll see it, this was put together in such a way that there are actually fingerprints from glue on the actual neck block up there, or the plastic part that serves as the neck block. And that's just crazy. So if we wanted to, we could hire a forensic scientist to go in and find out whose fingerprints those are. That's not so good. So for Kala, that's sort of surprising that that would slip through. We shouldn't be seeing people's fingerprints on the inside of an instrument. Otherwise, it's a pretty clean build. I mean, it makes sense. You just have your neck, and the neck is connected to the plastic body, and then you drop in the bamboo top. The bridge is affixed before the top is glued into place, and then your fretboard is added. Now, what I do like doing is looking at the inside of the instrument, so let's go do that really quick. All right, let's look on the inside of this instrument. There's your label there, but going down to the back, what you can see is the bamboo top. There is no bridge support plate. You can see that the bridge was screwed in onto the top. So unlike flights that are screwed in from underneath, the bridge was actually put on later. I just said in the video that the bridge might have been attached before, and that still might be true, but it also could have been added later. There is a wood block there for the strap button. That's nice to see. Otherwise, it's just an ABS body. Doesn't look like there's a ton of support. It's hard to see what the edge looks like there. Looks like a little ridge that the soundboard is resting on that is glued in. There's that. And just looking over at this side as well. So yeah, not a whole lot to see here, but you wouldn't really expect to see a whole lot either. Let's go look at the upper bout. Okay, there's not a whole lot of room here, but if I pull up, you can see there's your soundboard on the top there, glued into place. But look at the glue mess and look at the fingerprints. That is just really shocking on a Kala with the quality control that Kala usually has, at least in the construction. So now, does that hurt the instrument in any way? No, but can you see it when you're looking in? The answer is yes, and that's kind of disappointing. And I don't think there's any way to clean that off. And that's our quick look at the inside of the Ukadelic by Kala, the UK bamboo model. In terms of appearance, it's pretty plain, although you do have the bamboo engraving, which makes sense with a bamboo top instrument. Otherwise, I don't know. I think I might have gone for a different color neck and headstock. I would personally like this just to be a plain bamboo front without the etching. That would appeal more to me. So it's, it's attractive enough for what it is. Very plain though, very plain. In terms of availability, if you want to buy one of these, they are available. It looked like it was sold out of stock at Calibrand when I was checking out to see the availability, but they are available other places. For example, I just looked at Sweetwater and it's there, looked at Musician's Friend and it's there. That's where I actually obtained this one. For playability, the instrument is set up actually reasonably well, so that works to your favor. It is a 35mm nut, so people that like wider nuts on their instruments are not going to like it. But if you're a person like me that plays a lot of concerts and other, I switch from instrument to instrument, but generally concerts my favorite. So many concerts are 35mm, so I'm used to that. The neck is C-shaped. It is thick, as usual with import instruments. I don't know why we can't change that. So, ultimately, is it the most playable instrument? No, but that low action and the good setup, no sharp fret ends, really works this instrument's benefit. Now, as for sound quality, I wrote in the UkeGuide notes, which you can find at my channel, UkeStuff.info. Just look down the UkeGuide and you can find the notes for this one. It sort of lives between a laminate and a solid top instrument in terms of sound, and it's going out of tune a little bit. But the action here isn't a problem. And in fact, if I show you here, people are always asking, like, how's the intonation? In general, it should be set most of the time. So you've got harmonics happening pretty easily at the 12th, at the 7th, and at the 5th. If I was only a better harmonics player. I am not four-string boy who plays a ton with harmonics. So the instrument is playable. It's set up well. The sound quality generally is pretty good. Now, I would like a little more sparkle from this instrument, so if I was going to keep this, I would probably put on fluorocarbon strings of some kind. Maybe an Oasis Bright, maybe a Worth Clear, Martin M600, something like that, to get a little more sparkle out of it. It's reasonably loud. It's not super loud, but you would hear yourself playing in a group. and the tone tends to be a little darker than brighter. It's pretty balanced, but I would like a little more brightness with the instrument. Now, one of the things I do in these videos is I let you see what I am hearing by using the app Tonal Energy Tuner on my iPad, which is what I'm opening right now. I'm going to play a C chord into Tonal Energy Tuner and let you see what I am hearing. So here we go. I think what I'm hearing is pretty accurate here. The instrument could use more sparkle, more shine, and I think different strings could bring that out. Now that we've talked about the subjective categories, let's get into the specifications. This is a soprano ukulele with a scale length of 13.4375 inches, so just short of 13.5 inches from nut to saddle. It has 12 frets with 12 to the body, like many sopranos. It does have side position markers, and it is a double bout body. The soundboard is laminate bamboo. The back and sides are made out of ABS. The fretboard, here's an interesting one. It looks like wood to me. So I don't know. When I looked online, it said that it was textured plastic. That does not look like textured plastic to me, although it could be. Could be an engineered sort of a fretboard. However, it does have metal frets, which is kind of nice for people that want to use perhaps other strings. Some strings will cause damage to a plastic fretboard, but if you have the metal frets there, that shouldn't happen, even if this is a textured plastic fretboard. The saddle is perhaps Laurel. Looking at other instruments in this series, it didn't exactly list what the bridge was made of. The bridge is a tie bar bridge, and it is not a radius fretboard. It is flat, as you would expect. And the nut and saddle are plastic and black on this model. The saddle is not compensated, straight across. And the finish is not really a gloss, but it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. So it's a satin finish, and it is etched with that bamboo etching there. The overall length is 21.25 inches from the tip of the calla crown to the bottom of the instrument, not counting the strap button. And it weighs 1 pound, 4 ounces. It has open tuners that look like pretty much everything else in that entry-level calla sort of category. Now, the action here is where this instrument is quite good. At the first fret, it's 0.58 inches, maybe a smidgen high, but not enough to really do much about it. The action of the 12th fret is 2.53 millimeters, which is right about what you want. So that's all really good. The nut is a 35 millimeter nut. It's 34.80 millimeters. So again, if you like a large nut, this is not the instrument for you. And the spacing between strings is pretty narrow on this one. It's 8.42 millimeters between each string at the first fret, which makes it 28.81 from G to A, and that's pretty tight string spacing. So with a big round neck and narrow string spacing, people with large fingers may not like this one. And then the other thing I check is the depth of the neck, and it's pretty chunky. So if you go from the top of the strings to the bottom of the neck, remember the action is pretty good on this one. It's 21.68 millimeters at the third fret, which is pretty deep and pretty C-shaped in your hand. Again, if you play a lot of concerts or sopranos that are imports from China, that's what you're used to, although I'd certainly like to see that trend change. All right, now that we've talked about the subjective categories and the specifications, let's summarize the instrument and give it a UkeGuide rating. I was able to buy this one thanks to a reward system with Musician's Friend. Musician's Friend is a website in the United States, or a store in the United States, that is connected with the Guitar Center brand, and they offer a stupid deal of the day. Sometimes they offer a stupid deal of the hour, where they offer some instruments at really low prices, and I've bought some ukuleles over time, but they give you points every time you buy something. So with those accrued points, I bought this some time ago. Again, not a super expensive instrument, $49 right now if you want to buy one new. So it is an instrument that looks a lot like the Flight Travel instrument, but it's by Calla, and it has a wooden neck as its real main separating point from the Flight Travel series. the specifications say that this is supposed to have a textured plastic fretboard. It sure looks like wood to me. It does have metal frets, and the sound of the instrument is warm and punchy. Sounds like a soprano should, although I'd like some more brightness and would try other strings. I think the two drawbacks of this instrument, one is visual, is I would just like a plain top without the etching. And the other one I think is the edge here on the instrument is a little bothersome to me as I play it. This instrument's at the bottom of Cala's price range. I'm not sure that there's a cheaper instrument in the Cala catalog than these, and it is a decent starting instrument. Even though you don't have any accessories, and that's something you might have to plan for, because by the time that you add a bag or something like that, the instrument's no longer cheap at $49. You now are adding more, and there are probably kits that you can buy either from Cala or other brands that will surpass this instrument with the other things that you get. So, based upon the fact that it's a good playable instrument with good action, even though a traditional 35 millimeter nut and really chunky neck, it's still a good starter instrument. I would recommend it to you. It does come with the strap button on the bottom. If you wanted to do a strap on the top, you could put it into the wooden neck, or you could even get one of those strap adapters on the top. So what rating would I give this instrument? I would give this one a 4.0 out of 5 possible ukuleles. I think it's a decent starter instrument at the price. All right, thanks so much for joining for this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.